Hey Rosebuds, welcome to the Rose Garden. I'm your host, Nyeri Rose. Alright y'all, hey Rosebuds, we are back with another episode and I'm so excited because I have a new guest. We just keeping them coming. I am here with, I'm gonna say my friend.
Yeah.
This is my girl, okay? And her name is Unique Lajae. And she is, I would say, a new mom, a wife, and a businesswoman.
Yes.
Okay? And we like that because we're all about handling our business. And she's sitting with me because this conversation it's gonna be an interesting one. This is conversations about the N-word. Now, if you're thinking about why is she talking about the N-word, I'm gonna tell you exactly why. But just to give you some context and background, when I met you, we met at a self-care crawl, and we didn't actually talk until the end of that crawl.
Right.
Like, you were leaving and saying like, okay, peace out.
Yeah.
And then we exchanged information, and you just so happened to be a nail tech. And that is so important because in my life, I'm finding ways to take care of myself, and it does go back to beauty. So the fact that you're doing nails and you just started doing nails is pretty incredible.
Thank you.
And I've been a client.
Yes.
Yes, I have.
A faithful
now,
one.
Look, listen. Now, I did practice my own nails this time. She was like, who did your nails?
I had to know.
But I did go to Unique, and she does an amazing job. I love her work, and I feel like in the time that we've talked, I've gotten to know you a little bit. And so in those conversations, I just think it's interesting, your background and your upbringing. So could you tell like the Rosebuds, like where are you from, and just like how did you grow up a little bit?
So I'm from Kansas City, Kansas, the Kansas side. I grew up when I was younger, I lived here in Vegas up until I was around 11 years old, and then I moved back to Kansas City, Kansas. And yeah, my mom passed away, so then I moved with my father, and then I had issues with him, so then I went into foster care, and yeah.
And so you mentioned that because that your mom passed and you had to live with your father, and then you went into foster care, your environment shifted. And so being that you went to charter or private school?
I went to a public school.
You went to a public school?
Yes.
But was it predominantly white?
It was predominantly white. It was in the better area of Kansas. So I went to Olathe Public Schools, and then I went to Blue Valley Southwest. I know that doesn't mean anything to you, but for people that are from Kansas, they will understand like the caliber. Like it's like super bougie.
It's a bougie school.
Everybody's driving Mercedes, Benz. Like nobody's taking the bus. I was the only senior taking the bus.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
See, but that's how I kind of was brought up going to school. I went to a private school.
Okay.
And being that I went to private school, growing up, I didn't know or I didn't understand racism. I didn't see it. It wasn't until I went to private school and went to a predominantly white school where I picked up on, oh, okay, this group of people, they may not like me because of the color of my skin or how I look or how I identify.
Right.
So even though you went to public school, you still had to deal with that.
Yeah.
And so it just brings me to, because I feel like when I was listening to your story, shortly after I had my little experience, which I will get into, but just can you take us, when you say it's bougie and you know you're having to show up on, you know, the school bus or whatever, being a senior, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, inherently there isn't anything wrong with that, but when you're in an environment where everybody has really nice cars and nobody is taking the bus, like there's 5 people on the bus, then it's like, okay, you could just notice it. Yeah.
Do you feel like you isolated yourself, or did that community isolate you from them?
I definitely think I isolated myself, but like I said, at Blue Valley Southwest, all the black people can sit at one table. From freshman to senior, we can all sit at one table. So that gives you like a picture that like, even if I wasn't trying to isolate myself,
that's how it was.
That's just what it was going to be, yeah.
That's interesting, because my private school that I went to was called San Domenico, and it was in Marin County in California. And I always say, like, I could count the black people on one hand, two hands, however you want to call it, but we were just a small group, and we stuck together for the most part, but it was pretty triggering and shocking, just the comments that were made by our peers.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
So fortunately, because like I said, my early upbringing was here, I was around all black and brown.
Period.
I didn't see well, of course I seen white people, but I didn't have like a true interaction with white people until I moved to Kansas. And it's so silly, but I heard this white boy say, "Oh my gosh, that's so awesome," and that like triggered me. I was like, what? Like, why are you talking like that? And it was just because I just wasn't used to being around white people and how they talk and how they communicate. So it was interesting. But yeah, so when I first moved to Kansas, the white people that I were around, they were used to being around black people. So it wasn't until my mom passed away and then I went to a different level of white people. There is levels to it. Not trying to say that the white people I were around were lower class, but they just were, it was more diverse, I would say. So they're just more comfortable with being around us. But as you get higher and the income bracket gets higher, they start getting a little funny acting. I didn't start really experiencing that until I got older, until I was around 17, 18. And that's when I got called nigga.
Well, was it that or was it with the ER at the end?
It was...
Explain the story. Tell the story to us.
It's so long ago now. Okay, so the short version of it was... I was in theater. I was in like, you know, the people that do like the background stuff for theater class. So I was doing that, and it was in the middle of a play, and you know, we're just waiting for our transitions and stuff like that. And I just remember him like, okay, so let me be real. So I be saying nigga.
Right.
So I'm openly just talking, saying nigga, like.
Yeah,
in school.
Right.
So I really do feel now that I'm older and I have hindsight, like 2020, I do feel like he was like, oh, you saying nigga to me all the time, like I could just probably say nigga to you. And when he did it, it felt as if like it just didn't, like, cause you know how it feels pretty much, and it didn't feel as. It
didn't feel genuine. It didn't feel like a term of endearment.
No, it felt
like you had an opportunity and you took it.
Yeah, let me see if I can get this in real quick. See what she gonna do.
So see what she gonna do.
Yeah, it was like that, and so yeah, I put my hands and feet on him, and I wasn't.
You said that so eloquently. Thank you. Yes.
But yeah, I had to do what I had to do in that moment because at the end of the day, like. I have to set a precedent, and if I let this person say that to me, then everybody's gonna be saying that to me, and everybody will feel comfortable saying that to me. So that wasn't what I was about to go for. So yeah, that was my first time ever experiencing that.
Well, on behalf of all people that have been called the N-word, thank you. Thank you for your contributions.
Yeah,
for real. Because when I was in the situation, after it was like a week after you told me what had happened to you, I just found myself not in school, not around anybody, minding my business.
And I feel like that's more dangerous.
So dangerous. And I was with my children. That's the part where it's kind of just like, whoa. And even though I went to a school that was predominantly white and I experienced racism, I was never called that. Like I was never called the N-word. So walking and being in my own community where I live and having someone drive up to me and my children and call us nigger, like, what?
Yeah.
That's still like, it's still hard for me to process because I'm just like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
You're not only endangering me, but my children are scared. And I barely know what you look like because you said it, you drove up to us, rolled your window down, spewed out hate, and then you drove off.
Yeah.
So at that moment, I did not know. It's not that I did not know what to do, but I could not do. I don't want to put my children in jeopardy.
There's not much you can do at that moment,
But with that experience, from you talking about it, and then me actually experiencing it in 2024, it brings me to the question, like, racism, is it alive? Like, is it happening? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's just like how you said, it's levels to it. That is the hard part because we have to deal with racism and microaggressions in so many different spaces.
Yeah.
And it's hard to overcome it because it puts a stain like in your life's journey.
Yeah.
At least for me, it felt like, why would you do that? Like, and then I don't even know what you really look like. Like, why would you do that? Why did you do that to me?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you were able to kind of stand up for yourself, because a lot of situations like I've seen where it's triggering.
Yeah.
It triggers our people.
Yeah, and I was privileged for it. I mean, I'm not privileged that I got called the N-word, but I was in a safe environment. I was in school. So of course and I was a child. So there's people that were put in place that were going to protect me even if they didn't do it properly. It was still a safe environment. I wasn't going to get killed. I wasn't going to get raped. I wasn't going to get kidnapped because of putting my hands on a white boy for calling me the N-word. But us as adults now, you could have been harmed. Your kids could have been took. And it just makes you just feel so icky, like so uncomfortable having to deal with something like that, especially as an adult now.
Especially as an adult.
Yeah.
And I just want to, you said that in school, I mean, and just in life, because I know I do it too, you know, you call your friends the N-word and you say it. When we listen to music, we rap it, we sing it. So it's kind of just like for those people who are like, you know, they criticize everything that we do.
Yeah.
Every single thing that we do, how we move, how we act, how we behave. So that's like the one thing that's still like controversy in my opinion is, well, why do you guys get to say it?
And so anytime I'm met with this question, I always say the same thing. So say if we big women. We big round hamburger. You know, we big women.
Be a big round hamburger.
And so,
I know, right?
Yeah, we big women, and so we call each other fat. Your mama call you fat. Your mama call me fat. Your mama fat. We all call each other fat. We don't take no offense to that. But let somebody that's not skin folk or not your family come in and call you fat. Everybody's gonna be standing up like, hey, we don't have that type of relationship. And so I definitely feel like I get it when people who are not in our community be like, well, I got a black baby daddy. And he let me say it. I grew up with black people, so they let me say it. That's your community. That's your skin folk. I'm not your skin folk, and I'm not your community. So you can't just like initially meeting me thinking, oh, I can call her nigga because my baby daddy let me call him nigga. Like no, do I call me? And you have built a rapport. I don't know your nickname. I still don't call you. I don't know what your mama call you. I don't call you by your nickname. You're not calling me unique your pookie butt because that's not the type of relationship that we have.
I love that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like. There's still boundaries that's had, and I feel like as black people we have a collective conscience of what the word means to us and how we use it within our community, but they don't have that.
So then I guess my next question is, when it comes to those people that are ignorant, because I just did like a reel about ignorance because I experienced it, and I experienced it with a non-person of color when I was out camping, and it's kind of just like the privilege oozes out. And I know that I have my own privileges as a person. What do you mean the
privilege oozes out?
Well, just to make a long story short, when I was out camping, I don't glamp, I camp. So I set the tent, you know, I'm out in the wilderness, and so when we brush our teeth, there's a water well, and we use the water well. But there's also a sink for you to be able to like wash dishes and things like that. And so I'm at the sink that's dignified for washing dishes and hygiene and brushing your teeth. And so as I'm doing so, a white woman, she comes and she's like, oh, I'm just gonna fill up my water bottles, and she starts like, she like kind of moved me out the way so she could handle her business like there wasn't a water well on the other side. And so I'm just like, why do people do the things that they do? Like, is it for a response? Are they looking for us to flash? Like, is it just because they're in their own bubble? Like, how do we combat these small instances that could be huge? Because I try my best to just to keep calm. But things like that is kind of like, okay, are you playing with me right now? Like, what's the problem?
I think it goes to all white people. I think there's just a blind spot. Like, even if they're not inherently trying to be disrespectful, it's just a blind spot. They've operated in this space of privilege their whole entire life. So I definitely feel like when white people are a little bit younger, they do kind of be like, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, like they kind of understand it a little bit better. But as you get older, as you get set in your ways, as like you get confirmation biases by people around you, you just kind of like, you know, you get blind to stuff like that. So yeah,
you eat it right now because literally, no, it's true.
Yeah.
But it's just, you know, as we are ourselves and authentically ourselves, we have to not even stay safe. I say stay dangerous.
Yeah. Oh God.
You have to like really prepare for the worst possible scenario. Even though you don't want it, even though we don't want to live in survival, you always have to be ready to go.
Yeah.
On standby.
Yeah.
So it's just unfortunate, you know.
I was gonna say, I think that's also generational. Like, I feel like we've gotten passed down that trait of having to be in survival mode for so long. And I think the same with white people. I feel like they got passed down that trait of wanting to monitor niggas, wanting to be in our business, wanting to dictate us, because they, you know, what is it called when it's like the pain from past generations come down? Like, do you know what that's called? Because I feel like I've read something about it where it's like
a generational curse or something else.
No, it's actually like a science. Like, they proved that like trauma can be passed down generations. So like something can happen to my grandmother, and she's gonna pass down that trauma to my mom and to me.
I know what
and
you're
it's like
talking
in
about.
your
I
system.
cannot recall.
I can't think of the name of it. I can't think of what
There's
it's
this guy.
called.
His name is Yaki Awakening or something like that. But he talks about like our genes and how the things that have happened to us and our trauma is stored in our genes, and subconsciously, unconsciously, we don't know that when we're placed in these traumatic situations, it's our ancestors still within us fighting, because why are we doing this?
Right, and I think that's the same for them. Yeah, they shouldn't ain't as like positive, you know, but I think they got the same shit that we got.
Because there's a whole book, I don't know if you saw it, but it's like how to teach a Negro how to be a Christian, like how to use different tools and resources, like that tricknology. And I say day in and day out, I'm a spiritual person, so my whole thing is learning and then unlearning. I want to learn information and knowledge, especially when it relates to our past and our history, our true history, and then unlearn some of the behaviors that do not help with my growth. I don't need to know, you know, how the colonizers, you feel me, damage my brain, damage my system, damage my thinking, put us in competition, and put us to be in this like crabs in the barrel mindset. Because I feel like our people are suffering because of the things that have been instilled in us unbeknownst to us. So that just brings me, that was great, that was chef's kiss. But it just brings me to the fact that you are a mother and you are a wife and you're married. What made you decide to start a family? Like, into, like, I don't know if it's just like a natural occurrence, or just did you tell yourself at a young age, you know, I want to be, you know, a mom and just have that family unity?
No.
Right.
So when I was younger, I didn't think about no kids. I didn't think about marriage. I wasn't into Cinderella and them. Like, I was not worried about that at all. I think my husband was. I think my husband had an idea of what he wanted his family to look like. He had an idea of what he wanted marriage to be. And yeah, I think that just like over time, because I said I've been with him for 7 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's a long time.
It's a very long time. And so I think that it's like I had to get with the program, because I was still operating as if I was single. And I was like, he didn't give me like an ultimatum, but ultimately it was like, look, I'm trying to progress us. And you giving me in and out. And so I just had to make the decision, like, is this something that I want? And it is something that I want, but I didn't know what it meant to be a wife. I didn't know what it meant to be a mother, because I lost my mother so young. So yeah, it's like trial and error. I'm learning as I'm growing. Honestly, I'm just trying to figure it out and figure out what marriage means to me, what it is to be a good mom. And yeah, I'm just figuring it out, literally like everybody else.
You know what, I went through the same experience of, you know, having somebody show up and be there and say, you know, I want you, I need you, I want to be with you, and then still saying, well, you know, it's other fish in the sea, you know, like it's other people, and you talked about it, you know, just in our private, you know, nail appointment therapy sessions, but you talked about how women, we want to be desired, and why is it that we want to be desired? Is it because we see the man and he can get any woman that he wants, and then we feel like it's not reciprocated? What are your thoughts on that? Just because you said, you know, I was still operating like I was single.
Right.
So.
I think it probably go back to daddy issues. It would be 100. I think me wanting that attention, wanting to be liked, wanting to be, like you said, desired. I just feel like it goes back to things that I hadn't healed from, and I had to kind of sit with myself and be like, look, I could be chasing people until I'm 60. Like I could be, or people haven't been out here kicking it, that whole time. But it's
turning up in the nursery home.
They do. They be nasty up in there. so I get that. But I had to also look at like the people in my life that has already did that. Who has already decided to be the rich auntie and be cute all their whole life and just not really worry about other things. And there's definitely things that I like about that. And I'm like, girl, I wish I could be you a little bit.
All the time. Yes, I know.
But at the same time, when it comes to like having a family unit, it's something so safe about that. It's something so...
security, protection.
It's so safe, and I think it also forces me to grow as a person. Because I feel like when you the rich auntie and you ain't got no responsibilities, none of that, you can kind of do whatever the fuck you want to do. If you want to grow, you can grow. But if you got a baby, you gotta grow. You have to step up to the plate. You have to do what you need to do for your child. When you have a husband, you decided, like, whatever terms you and your husband decided on when y'all got married.
Because it is an agreement.
It is an agreement.
It's a contract.
And people have different agreements.
Yep.
You need to stand by that. If you're a religious person, I don't know, I'll be kind of talking on religion a little bit, but you stood before God and decided, like, look, this is who I'm choosing.
I definitely did.
Yeah. And so, I think it's a blessing and a curse. It definitely makes me grow and evolve as a person, and I don't think I'd be able to get that type of, that, like, how quickly it makes you do it. I don't think I would get that without being married, without having a baby.
I love that you said that it's all those things, and yes, we want to be desired, but there is a comfort in the fact that we are already desired by the person who loves us.
Yeah, and it's enough.
And it's enough.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have a hard time gauging when enough is enough.
Yeah.
And you see like things on social media, you see things, I don't know if you grew up on like the Love and Hip Hop series or saga.
Yeah.
But looking back at it now, I feel like it caused a little harm to like our community, like seeing, successful black people in that light. I mean, it did give like hindsight into their experiences and like making money, but with the Love and Hip Hop and the Basketball Wives, it was rare that you actually see married people operating.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you mentioned that. Like I said, I didn't know how to be a wife because we don't see it. It's not common. And the examples I did have of it from my dad was not good examples of what I felt like a marriage should look like. So yeah, and I think again, when we go back to racism and how there's different levels of it, I think it was strategically put in to where we don't have that family unit a long time ago.
Right. So they're still trying to separate the black family.
Yeah. So when it comes to is racism alive, like I don't think racism will ever not be alive. I think that's what has built America. And anti-blackness isn't just an American thing, it's everywhere. So yeah.
They said, I actually saw an article that said that people from other countries come to America to practice racism. Yeah. It's a sport.
Yeah, I think that's Mexicans or Spanish speaking people, because I know everybody ain't Mexican, but they come here and they build a life and then they try to look down on us. Yeah.
No. I live by a predominantly Hispanic community, and I'm so glad that you said that, because going back to like the N-word and being called the N-word, although I did not, directly see the person that called me an N-word and my children, 9 times out of 10, I feel like that person was Hispanic. I'm gonna just keep it so frank with you. I believe that person was a Hispanic person, and I see a lot of racism within, you could say, minority cultures.
Yeah.
I've experienced more harm. I mean, when it is the white person or the non-person of color, you're like, okay, like,
white people got their thing in place.
It's in place, and it's kind of just like, oh, okay, like that's what you chose for today. Thank you for showing me. Thank you. But when it's a person that is of color and they do those microaggressions or those implicit biases, and then they show you that they're not really for you, especially in the workplace and things like that, it's so like devastating, because it's just like, do you look in the mirror? Do you see who you are? Like, do you see that we're all trying to fight the same battles here, and then you're going to choose to step on me? Why? Because I'm darker than you, or because I just have the term black? Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, and I think it stems from inferiority, jealousy. They may feel like they should be further than you. They may feel that they work harder than you.
Yes.
And so it's like, why should you get all these benefits, especially from people that aren't legally here, I feel like they come here and then it's like, why do you get all these assistants? I don't get that. I'm working way harder than you. You're actually lower than me. And it's just like, your problem ain't my problem.
Yes.
You need to take that up with that white man that you're trying to align with. That's who you really need to take
They're
that
trying
up
to
with.
form the allegiance, and it's like, I want you to see me. I want you to.
Yeah,
I get that.
yeah.
I had a friend back in the day that had another friend back in the day that experienced that.
Yeah.
And she was on her break and she was asleep, and her coworker was Hispanic and kind of called her out to the boss, like, oh, she's napping on the break, and you see me, I'm over here working.
And it's like, baby, you don't get extra points for that, because at the end of the day, it's like, you still ain't. They don't see you as their equal, and they will never see you as their equal.
I wish we could get out that headspace.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, at some point, we have to stop competing with each other so that we could be seen by this other entity. We are enough.
Yeah.
We do enough. We show up. And when we show up, sometimes we don't make it. Like, it's a fight.
Yeah,
So
it is.
It's a lot. But just back to the black family and, like, the things that we go through, I'm noticing that it just seems like, and I love black women. I think black women are incredible. They're inspiring. I wouldn't be who I am without the black woman.
Yes.
But I know that
Most people wouldn't.
Exactly. But I know that, like, most of us we want love. You know, we want that community. And I just feel like, for some reason in this day and age, like, black women are having a hard time finding love and finding those safe spaces.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you have that. I'm so happy that I have that for myself. But it's just like, what are we doing to where we cannot come together and keep creating strong foundational households?
I think what we need to do is keep them other people out of our business. I think as
Yes,
black
I said
people,
that was my husband.
we
right.
don't gatekeep. If you do any of the slightest thing, you invited to the cookout. You invited to be in our business. You agree with us with one thing, then we let you into our whole space. And I don't think we should do that anymore. And I think the moment we kick out all these extra, like these, what am I trying to say?
I know what you're saying, girl. I know what you're saying.
You know, these like ideas that we have that are really based on the white man's version of what a household should look like. Once we kind of kick that out, I think we'll do better for ourselves, honestly, altogether.
You know what? Now my brain is like firing. When you said kick out the white man's version, have you heard of Nature Boy?
I feel like I've heard it, but I don't know what that is. What is
So
it?
basically, he got sentenced like almost life for being an occultist, and basically, I mean, he did some foul things, but he had like multiple wives, and he had like his friends around, and there's all like, I just talked about this with my cousin actually, about how black men feel like they need more than one woman, and I know that there's polygamy and that there's people who practice that, and when you do think of a relationship, that's your terms with whoever you're with.
Right.
But for men who feel like, because I mean, everybody is capable of cheating.
Yeah.
But we hear about it more with our black men, you know, cheating on the woman, or, you know, having multiple women as their child's mother. And I'm trying to make sense of it, you know. Should a black man feel like he should be able to have access to multiple women? I know Nature Boy, like, he's in jail because of his thoughts and his beliefs of having a whole...
So what did he do?
Well, he did a lot.
So in the act of having multiple women, did he mistreat them? Did he...
So I seen one scene where he had all his wives lined up, and then he told basically wife 4, go slap wife 7 because she disrespected me.
Okay.
And we're doing this on camera.
Yeah. And I think that shines light to the fact that black men don't have no real power in society. And so the only time they can really dictate that type of power is on a black woman. And so I really do feel like that's some healed shit that's some hurt pain that he kind of have to work through himself. I don't know anything about that. But yeah, I mean, in my mind, if you can afford it, if you can afford it and you get some women to agree to it, kudos to you. Honestly, it has nothing to do with me.
Because it takes a village.
It does take a village. And if you cutting that check and them women agree to it and they have no problem with it, that's all you. But don't think you working at McDonald's and you can have 2 shawties that work at Dollar Tree and think everything cool.
You said that perfectly, because that's who wants it. I be feeling like that's who wants the lifestyle.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's not so much McDonald's, but
you
it's
get
kind of
it.
like,
Yeah.
are you making over $100,000 to support the children that you're bringing into this world with the women that you are doing this with? Oh my goodness. Like, it's just a lot that we have to go through in our relationships, in our practice.
Because if you comparing it to the white man do it. He just don't have them all in the same house.
Well, I'm not. That is true. Also, I believe the African men do it as well, because I know that my husband, he used to work for Tesla, and so he would say, like, he would see different celebrities come in to get their cars and things like that. And I remember when he came home, he was like, "You won't believe who was at Tesla," and I was like, "Who was it?" And he said it was Akon.
Oh yeah, he seemed like somebody that believes in some shit like that.
And he said that Akon came in with like 3 different women or his wives, and he was just car shopping. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But to each his own.
Yeah, I like I said, if you can afford it and the women agree to it, I don't see nothing wrong with it.
Now, when we were talking, you did say that you had like a friend that I'm not sure if she was. You said she was African, but she said in observing black people, she said that black people are conservative.
Yeah.
Do you agree or disagree with that?
I agree to an extent.
Okay.
I agree to an extent. My ego don't want me to agree.
I know. I know.
I agree to an extent, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate
that we're conservative, or just that perspective
that we're conservative.
Okay.
I think that us as black people, we really, the majority of us, align with Christianity and align with what the Bible says, and those are very conservative beliefs, regardless of how you cut it. And yeah, it's so uncomfortable.
I've been stirring on it for a long time, like ever since you said it. And so even like things that I do, or like when I get into my state of judgment, because I will not lie, like I have moments where I'm judgy and I'm just like, why do I think this way, or why do I feel this way? And I'm like, am I conservative?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it is very conservative. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm trying to figure out how I can cut it, but you really can't cut it.
Do you feel like you're traditional when it comes to your marriage and just how you...
I think that it's easier to just kind of fall into those traditional beliefs because it's been set in place. Yeah.
For so long.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think that's pretty much what I can say.
I just wanted to put it out there.
Yeah.
Like, black people, are y'all conservative?
I think we are. I think we are. I think even those that feel like they aren't are. Like, even within the LGBT community, you still kind of got some conservative beliefs that you kind of do need to reflect. How do you show up if you're a masculine presenting person in a relationship? How do you show up? What do you expect? Are those traditional beliefs? Are you aligning with patriarchy? Pretty much. Is that what you're going to align with now that you're a masculine presenting person?
Yes, because I did take a class in sociology, and it broke down like there is a hierarchy in every different club and community.
Yeah.
And I know that it's LGBTQ month and things like that.
Shout out to y'all. For real.
Yeah. Because I have friends that are in that community, but I still notice y'all conservative and y'all operate a certain way, and then you'll have some people say, you know, that's what they're doing over there, but this is how I get down. I think it's just your moral compass. And your moral values and beliefs. I feel like that's what keeps us conservative. When you decide in your brain or your thought process the things that you're going to go for and the things that you're not going for, that's just what it is when it comes to how we behave as human beings. The only thing that I just give pause to is the fact that even though we might be conservative, or some of us are free spirits, sometimes I like to think of myself as a free spirit, we have a lot of people throwing stones. And when you think about the Bible and it says, like, you know, let someone who is without sin cast the first stone. We live in a time where it don't matter if you're a sinner or you're not. Everybody has something to say. The trolling community is huge. I literally just experienced someone trolling.
Really?
Yes.
What they do? What happened?
So I have a fitness page, and I'm very sensitive about it because I've been on this journey for a while, and sometimes it's hard for me to see the growth. I'm proud of myself for my growth, but it's vulnerable saying, you know, I was a heavier person and now I'm working to a healthier lifestyle, because it's not about being skinny. It's just about being healthy. And I had posted, like, I had a hard day, and I was like, I'm getting in the pool.
Right.
And I had all my clothes on, so I just got in the pool. Somebody was like, you so, like, dusty because you got your socks on and you jumping in the pool.
You had your socks on in the pool?
I did, but I took them off.
Okay, that's good. Because that's a little crazy.
No!
Why did you take your socks off, though?
I didn't take my socks off because I didn't take nothing off. I had
you said, I'm just going in.
my glasses on.
Okay, so it was just I just need to. That was a personal moment.
It was a personal moment.
Yeah.
But even in your personal moment, somebody will criticize you.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to learn, especially like showing up. I know you have to show up in your practice.
Yeah.
And just me doing this, and the goal, because I've been saying like I don't like people, but I really do love people, and just being able to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
That's sometimes all we need, is being able to talk to somebody. Yeah. But it's scary when you're putting yourself out there, and then when you put yourself out there,
and then you get that,
you get that judgment.
Yeah, and I feel like for the longest time, I battled with the thought, or with the fear of being seen and being vulnerable. And yeah, it's a hard thing to do, especially like you said, where everybody has something to say. In this day of age where you do want to share everything, but then everybody got something to say, so then you don't want to share everything.
You don't want to share.
Yeah.
So then, just in the midst of the craziness, what do you do to heal and self-care?
When it comes to what?
Just life. Just when you're going through whatever you're going through, or you're feeling like, you know, I need space away from the family, what does your self-care and your healing look like for you?
I speak out loud. Like, I speak my thoughts out loud, because I told you for the longest time my throat chakra was completely closed. Like, I couldn't even say, hey Alexa, turn on the light, because I just didn't want to hear my voice. So for me, I have to speak out loud. I have to journal. I have to pray. I have to meditate. I smoke a little weed. You feel me? I gotta ease my mind a little bit.
It's crazy because, like, to this day they still act like that's controversial, you know, but it's medicinal.
Yeah, and it really does ease your thoughts. Because I feel like I'm getting so many thoughts in a minute, and then so many like negative thoughts of like, what's this even worth? Like, why should I be doing these things? So yeah,
it's heavy.
Weed does help.
It does.
Yeah, but everything is good in moderation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some people don't understand that. Yeah. Going back to being conservative.
I had seen this video, and it was like a podcast type of video, and she was saying how God told her to stop smoking weed, and she was just like, "Why? It's from the earth." Da, 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 da. Right. And she said that in her prayer, God pretty much said that you're medicating yourself before you even give me the chance to help you through it. You're like you're dumbing yourself down, numbing yourself to the point where I can't even come in and help you get through it. I can't even come in and help with your healing. And so that's sat with me a little bit. So yeah.
Do you feel like, though, given the chance and opportunity, like, have you ever done a fasting or a detox?
I've been wanting to do one, but I have not. Yeah, I definitely want to do one.
I'm starting one tomorrow.
Well, what you fasting?
Just water. Actually, you know what? My mom, she just came through, and so I don't know if you see on TikTok, they have these cleansing pills. So I'm gonna try them. They're like these detox pills, and they're supposed to cleanse the gut, because a lot of our problems stem from our gut. And when you talk about chakras, we have 2 chakras in our gut area. So it's kind of just like, you really have to take care of your body, like your brain, your heart, but people sleep on the stomach. And sometimes we just consume. I know in my journey, like, when I go through things, I'm an emotional eater. That's what I love to do. If I can't talk to the person that I feel like I'm in tension with, or if it's with my family, I have to eat to relieve myself. And so I've done so much damage and harm to that gut and to my chakras, solar and sacral, that I need to cleanse it. So I'm about to start that. But I like doing fasts. It takes discipline.
Yeah.
It takes discipline and consistency to say, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get through it. And even when you don't get through it, you can't like beat yourself up about it.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I don't know. When it comes to not eating, I have a lot of trauma with not eating. So, I mean, and maybe that would help me have to sit with that trauma, but I don't know if I'm prepared for that.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm ready for that.
That's
quite
honest.
Yet. Yeah.
It's hard sitting with ourselves.
Because I get, it takes me back to a place where I get very mean and nasty and yeah, not eating, like there's hangry, but then I feel like with me, because my trauma had so much to do with food and eating, where I do feel like I'm chemically going into a different space, like it's a chemical imbalance almost. I really truly do believe that.
I've seen it, so I know it's true.
Yeah.
Have you heard of shadow work?
I have, but I haven't done it.
Oh, all you gotta do is look up like prompts.
Okay.
And I love it because it holds you accountable. So you'll read a prompt, you'll write about it if you like journaling, and when you write transparently and just be honest, because there's sometimes where you'll look at a situation and it's easy to place blame, but then you have to think about like your role or your part, or just getting in tune with your dark side, because we all have our dark negative side, but it's just some people don't like to look at that side. But we're not perfect people. We're imperfect. So the thing that I admire about you is that you like to read and you like to explore and learn. Is there anything that you're reading now or that has helped you in your growth?
Dang, I'm reading a book on boundaries. Did I send you that picture of the book? I think I sent it to you.
You did.
Yeah, and I need to get back to it because I've been, like I said, life has kind of like
been lifing.
Yeah. But yeah, I really do feel like I need stronger boundaries when it comes to my child, my husband, my family, with myself. I don't have discipline when it comes to my phone, because now that I'm an entrepreneur, I have to constantly be on social media, constantly posting. I need better boundaries. So I'm reading a book about boundaries. I will find it and I'll show you so you can show them.
Because I can put it in the tag or the description box. Boundaries is something that we all struggle with. Whether it's people, sometimes you need boundaries with places, like not going to certain areas or sections just because it's not in alignment with your journey.
I agree.
But when it comes to boundaries, we're going to talk about a little bit about, just the things that we see in like social media and how you said you're an entrepreneur. The last guest that I had, JB, she said that she doesn't do business, or she doesn't think business should happen in the DMs. And when we do business, like, people don't like to pick up the phone and call or text, but that's how we should conduct ourselves, is through that type of communication, because it's easy to get lost in social media.
Yeah, I agree. I get where she's coming from, but it's like in this day and age, people are hitting you up. Everybody's accessible. Like I could text Nicki Minaj right now. I could inbox her. I could inbox her right now if I wanted to. So I think, I don't know, especially me, because I'm still starting out, I have to be accessible. I can't, maybe when I have a little bit more like foot in the game, I have a stronger clientele. But right now, baby, hit me up.
Look.
DM me, baby, because we can figure it out.
I love that.
For real.
You mentioned Nicki, and that's just my next topic, because we both, I went to Gag City.
Yes.
Did you go to Gag City?
I did.
You
twice.
went not once, but twice.
Twice.
Right.
Yes.
And how was your experience?
Oh my goodness, it was the best concert I've ever been to in my life.
Wasn't it?
The first one, I did here in Vegas, and I won tickets to that.
Congratulations.
Thank you. But I was all the way in the back.
Okay.
But even with being all the way in the back, the crowd, the DJ, like I still vibed. But then when I went to the one in Chicago, I was a lot closer because that's the one I paid for.
Okay.
And being able to see, like actually see her, oh my goodness, it was amazing.
It was incredible.
Yes.
She's such a, like, she's different.
She is. Girl,
I was telling
she
somebody
do a
else
twirl. She do one twirl. the crowd going crazy.
Right?
She ain't gotta do nothing.
Nothing. She'll hand the whole mic to somebody else and just look at them like, yeah, perform the song because I know you know it.
Right.
I had described her as like strange. She's a little different.
Yeah.
You know, but the thing that I love about Nikki is that it just seems like from day one, the bright colors, the different personas, when it comes to like us being, or just me myself being afraid of being seen, she's never exhibited that.
No.
And through all of the adversity and challenges that she's gone through, she still shows up in her own way, whether it's crazy or whatever, whether it's rap beef.
Yeah. You gotta admire that.
I do admire it a lot. I mean, some of her raps, you know, they hit. So
Majority of
the raps hit.
Majority of them raps hit, yeah.
And it's kind of challenging because now that she's getting older, and we all get older, it's this talk of, is she losing it or she's bitter, you know, and she's not giving the other girls the platform to rap and take over.
I don't know. I think, okay, you just said a lot. So I'm trying to like process what you said. Is she giving girls a rap platform to do it? I think she is. I just think they ain't stepping up to the plate.
They not stepping up.
Yeah, because when it comes to the battles, I feel like Nicki Minaj had to come through. She had to battle misogyny. She had to go against men on a verse. Whereas now, and I love it, because I love the rap girlies, it can be a whole track full of rap girlies. You ain't competing with no nigga, and you ain't got to, because you have a community of women. But the only reason why you have a community of women because Nicki Minaj had to come in and make a way for you to have space. And so that's why I'm like, you got to give her
You have to give her flowers.
Yeah,
yes.
you have to give it to her.
Definitely.
When it comes to taking the throne, for me, I feel like Doja is right here.
Doja Cat?
Yes.
Oh wow.
I do. I really do.
I did not see that coming.
I feel like Nicki Minaj got her shit that she gotta work through, and I feel like Doja got her shit that she gotta work through fully. That anti-blackness shit,
Right.
But and that's when I say, like, when they were trying to compare Nicki to Cardi, I was like, you can like Cardi B more. She's definitely more likable, but when it comes down to the craft and the work and the catalog, you can't compare them.
Because they all her sons.
You can't. You can't compare them. But I really feel like Doja Cat has took inspiration from Nicki.
Yes, and she said it. She's vocalized.
You know. And I feel like she's doing a great job with it.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you like Paint the Town Red.
I don't like that demonic shit. And my husband always be like, turn that shit off.
Right.
But
I be slapping it in the car. I'm not gonna
feel
lie.
like you can separate the art from the artist fully.
That's crazy that you just said that, because I was just about to get into these predators that are coming out left and right and separating the music from the
artist. Yeah.
Is it possible? Like, I still can't listen to R. Kelly. I'm sorry.
So, and that's
and
so.
I hate that I said that.
I know. Okay, so for me,
I'm so sorry.
I think so. When I was going through all of my shit as a child, I played R. Kelly. I definitely would have been took by R. Kelly during that time.
Oh no!
Because I was fully like, I would have, honestly, how I was standing for R. Kelly. At this point in my life, it has less to do about R. Kelly and more to do about the piece that it brought me back then. It's like a nostalgia thing for me, honestly. He ain't shit. I'm glad he's where he's at. But for me, it's like that the music is good. The music is good, and it's just like he's serving. He's got dealt his cards, and he deserves it. He deserves to be exactly where he's at. But when it comes to slow jam, bump and grind, step in the name of love, baby, I'm gonna still dance a little bit.
Okay.
I'm gonna be a little ashamed.
Don't feel ashamed.
I'm gonna be a little ashamed because
you stepping in the name of love.
I mean, I understand, and it's like that's the thing, separating the art from the artist, because the song hits.
Because this is the remix to Ignition.
Yeah.
Hot and fresh out the kitchen. I'm sorry.
The song is good.
It is.
The man ain't shit. I don't got nothing to do with Robert.
Call him by his name.
Yeah. Just like I ain't got nothing to do with Onika. When she be on that live, on that shit, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
They were just saying that they were concerned because it just seems like it's giving like she's on something else or she's doing, but it's easy for us to do, like just to say that. And
I think she could do bad all by herself. I don't think she need that drug to make her be
she
crazy.
doesn't. I feel that way wholeheartedly. I just feel like I see somebody who's human, who's tired, who's working way more than I am, because I'm not on nobody's tour. I would love to be on tour.
Yeah.
But like, she's showing up, and that's all she can do.
Yeah.
So when it comes to separating the artist and the music, that's a choice.
It is a choice.
It's a choice.
Yeah.
And I mean, I really didn't listen to Diddy and things like that.
Yeah, I didn't listen to that either.
But it's just like seeing all the things that are transpiring. Your favorite artist might be next. Like, you never know what's gonna come out when it comes to these people in the industry. But
it's a weird industry.
It's a weird industry. Highly weird. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like I feel like protect my kids from that. Like, because I see my boys and I see the talent within them, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like, I want you to be able to express yourself and be artistic and creative. But then, like, when it comes down to it, somebody sees you or recognizes you and they say, hey, I'm gonna need you to fortify your soul a little bit and do this little thing if you want a little bit of change. Right. I have those conversations now. Yeah. I just feel like it's important to do so.
Yeah, I think having strong boundaries, like we said, having having strong morals, that comes into play when it comes to the industry. And I think, especially for people that are trying to get that attention, trying to get that notoriety, you can be bought.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, can you be bought? Because you are a businesswoman, and I want to talk about your business. Okay. So you've been doing nails. Yeah. What even made you decide to get into the cosmetology industry? I know it's a huge industry. Right. What was that? Where did that spark come from?
So I've always been into makeup, hair, nails, like ever since my mom passed away, because my mom was a natural girly. Like, she wore natural hair, she barely wore any makeup, like, so I didn't really see like really glammed up people. But then when she passed away and I got to see my dad's many women, I got to see different variations of what women can look like and how they can show up. And I realized I like when people wear heels. I like when people get girly and get like, add that extra stuff to themselves. I adored that. So I think that's where it came from. Okay. And so when it comes to why I wanted to be a nail tech, I originally started out making wigs.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, I need you to make me one.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring it back. Okay. Making wigs took up majority of my time. I made really good money. I didn't have to work for a year and a half solely off of living off of what I made from wigs. Okay. And then I started moving around, and then I feel like I started comparing myself to other people.
It's easy to do.
Yep. So then I was just like, I don't want to do that. I was always really good at drawing and painting. So I was like, how can I stay true to myself and what I want to do and what I like to do? And so I just felt like nails was the best thing. I did not anticipate the benefit of being able to meet different people. I didn't know that I was going to be able to find community within doing that, and that has got me even more excited with doing nails. Yeah, but I truly do feel like it's a stepping stone. I feel like I want to perfect it, and then I want to move on
and grow. Yeah, that's all. Because you're an entrepreneur at the end of the day, and all that means is that you have the ability to create. Yeah, you are a creator naturally. So being that you said you did wigs, you like doing nails, you like to paint, things like that. I see, at least because I'm in education and I see these young people, they learn things fast. Yeah. And as soon as they learn it, wherever they get it from, whether it's YouTube University or TikTok, they are getting it down. Now, you went to school, you did all the things that you needed to do, and I'm proud of you for that. Do you encourage that generation, or just people that are ready to start a business, to go the route of getting their proper certifications?
Wholeheartedly. I feel like you never know where it's going to take you, and you just want to make sure you have all your ducks in a row, because you don't want to be doing this for 5-10 years, and then you're like, somebody can come and shut me down right now.
Shut you down.
Just because you didn't decide to invest that 6 months, because it really doesn't take that long. Yeah. It
doesn't take that long to finish the school stuff.
No, 6 months for nail tech, 6 months for esthetician, and about a year for cosmetology.
So then, in that process, and in you finishing, or even when you're going through it, what are some hard lessons that you learned? Because I know that when you do the school, you have to take like a big test at the end and things like that.
Your practical and your
So just like, what were some obstacles that maybe you felt like you didn't know if you were going to make it through, but you did?
You're going to learn the bare minimum. Regardless of whatever school you go to, you're going to learn what's going to allow you to pass state board. That's it. So, yeah.
So the talent is you.
The talent is you.
Okay.
And some people are inherently talented, but hard work is going to beat talent every day. So as long as you stay with it, stay consistent, keep trying, keep progressing, you're going to get good.
You're gonna get good.
You're gonna get good, yeah, eventually.
So then I guess I don't even have to ask, because I was gonna just ask you, like, what advice do you have for people who have the talent and the skill, but they're just not ready to start the business?
You lacking.
You lacking.
You lacking. You not. You can't nobody want it more than you do. Can't nobody want it more than you do. So you could be talented and you could look like you could do. I'm talking too fast.
No, you're good, because I just feel like for every person there's a replacement.
Yeah.
And so how are you gonna leave your mark?
Yeah,
because there's only one you.
Beyonce is the greatest singer, but she work hard.
You know what's crazy? That is a debate, and usually, you know, the Beehive like to comfort people and things like that. But I remember I heard Trick Daddy say, like, she can sing, but she can't sing.
Yeah, like there's people at your local church blowing her. But at the end of the day, it's that hard work. It's that tenacity.
Dedication, yes.
Yeah.
Because that's all you see.
Yeah.
Her rehearsing, her getting to it, getting to the bag.
Yeah.
And you don't see her drop, well, except for the elevator.
Yeah.
But we still don't know what happened in that elevator.
No. But I think that's the blessing and curse with Beyonce, though, because we're living in a day and age where you know everybody. You can go to somebody's story, see what they're eating right now. And Beyonce has kept a level of, like, I am a celebrity. You don't need to know my business.
I'm not easily accessible to you.
Yeah, which makes her the celebrity of celebrities, but it also to the people that need to buy her hair product. We don't know you.
Come on, okay.
Yeah, we don't know you. Yeah, we don't know what you be doing. We don't know if that's real or not.
See, and that's the thing that's crazy, because I'm glad you said that, because I was going to talk about how she has her sacred hairline and things like that, and people were praising her because she did her promo, and basically the PR was just her washing her natural hair, taking care of it, and she got inches. She's eating the girls up. Now, in my younger days, you hear all types of different things and like gossip, and like some of the things I heard was like, you know, Beyonce, she has so much money, she can have or afford somebody to grow her hair out for her, and then they do like hair transplants and then put the hair back in, and I'm like, with beauty these days, if you can go and just get the mommy makeover and the BBL, and like all it takes is for somebody to say, oh, I know how to do that, and you have the bag, and then you get it done. Now on the other side, I was mentioning to you earlier how, you know, Rihanna, she also just came out with her hair care, and I hate it, because they like to put women, especially black women, against each other. We live in a competitive society. I'm doing my best to get out of seeing like people as my competition and seeing people as like my community. How can we build together? But the Beehive ate Rihanna up, because they were like, she showed her hair, what's your hair looking like? And so she went to her launch in her natural hair, and I still think she's beautiful. She had her short natural look, but it's just like, I don't even know, just from the body language, just hair, is that our safe space? When we do our hair, when we put our extensions in, when we have our locks or not having locks, like, because I just have mine and I cut them off, but so many people ask me, are you okay? When it came to my hair, and I'm like, yes, I'm okay, but I knew it was time. You have to know when it's time to let something go, so that you can grow. So just seeing that and that competition, it's terrible, you know? It
is. I think they've been putting Rihanna and Beyonce against each other for a long time. So this was just something that, just another little thing they could throw up on top of that. So, yeah.
I want to say, though, I really appreciate you, because I know that you're getting your business going and you're getting more clientele, and I will tag her business in this, but you actually, when you did my nails, you know, I loved it. I had a great time. It was therapeutic. And you actually put me on your page, you know, as your model. And I'm really grateful for that, because you don't know this, but I've had like the trauma of the aesthetic. And I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
but there's things where you'll see controversy about people who do nails or who do hair only posting a certain type of look. You know, and I've been super insecure just about my looks in general. So you doing my hands, it's like, oh, I would understand if you wouldn't want to take a picture of me or my hands because I got old lady looking hands. Like, that's how I feel. But you said, girl, this is my work. I'm posting my work.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you for being authentic to your talent and your craft.
No problem.
No, for real.
Yeah.
Because I've had that where I've had like a girl, she did excellent work on my nails, but she wouldn't post me. You know? Because it didn't fit.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I really don't.
It's not that deep.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not that deep.
Yeah, as long as the nails looking good, you going on up there. I get it if if I'm doing 20 toes, I'm not about to post every toe. You know, if I'm doing like the same style over and over again, I'm not gonna keep posting that same style. But I don't care if you're white.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you on there too.
That's the diversity piece.
Yeah, like I don't care what you got going on. Come through.
Come through.
Yeah.
Support.
Yeah.
Okay, so you ready for the game?
Okay.
You gotta stretch.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't know why I'm doing this. I admire like other podcasters and talk show hosts. I don't know if you ever see the Terrell show, and there's like Terrell Grice, and he asks singers like, you know, little trivia questions and things like that. So I'm just gonna ask you questions, girl.
Okay.
And I just want you to answer.
Okay.
So, how much does your personality change when you're around different people?
We're talking about percentages or
Look,
a lot enough.
Just when whatever you're doing, how much do you change? Do you code switch?
Personality, I don't code switch, but I do withhold. I'm way more open to skin folk. I'm way more open to people that are my age. I'm way more open to, you know, anything where I can feel like we got some type of like common ground.
Common ground.
Yeah.
That's what helps keep you like. You
Yeah,
know,
but when it
safe.
comes to code switching, I'm just not talking.
Not talking.
I'm not about to like, hi, oh my gosh, how are you doing? Like, I'm not gonna do all that. Like, if you come to me, I'll receive you wholeheartedly, but I'm not going to adjust to you.
I love that.
Yeah.
I watched a TED Talk about code switching, and the woman who was speaking, she said it's fake, it's unnatural.
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to switch who you are or your vernacular just because you're around different types of people?
Yeah.
So that's awesome that you don't, and you stay true, but you'll know, like, okay, read the room.
There's cons to staying true to yourself too. You don't get as many opportunities, or they're slimmer. You have to be very strategic about going out and finding those opportunities, because other people will adjust. Other people will shapeshift. Other people will, you know, turn into that character that they know that person is looking for to get what they want. Yeah. And it's a survival instinct that us as Black people have learned how to do. I don't like doing it.
Nope, so don't.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, so what are you putting off right now?
What am I putting off? I am putting off trying to rebuild my relationship with my dad. I am putting off
That's literally it.
yeah.
She said that's literally it.
I think that's it, yeah.
That was the perfect timing of that.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, when we're triggered by people and we have that trauma and it's deep seated and it's deep rooted,
Yeah.
it's hard.
It is hard.
It's
Yeah.
hard. But then it's just like you have to live with no regrets, and it's all in your own timing. I know I have my own triggers with my father, and I'm actually gonna see him soon because my sister's getting married.
Okay.
But I mean, through all of it, I'm learning to give grace in situations. Like my dad, I just had a birthday. He didn't tell me happy birthday. But you know what? If something were to happen, that's still, you know, my dad.
Yeah.
But it doesn't negate like the things that we've been through because of his absence. I had an absent father.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm learning through my own husband, you know, because he's there and he's present. You know, was it really that hard to show up? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's okay. Take your time, you know, with it, because that's all you can do. But I know I put it off.
Yeah.
I know I put it off, so I understand that. Which leads me to my next question for you. What stresses you out?
Expectations stress me out. Uncertainty stresses me out. And yeah.
Are you an impulsive person, or do you take your time in every situation?
I take my time.
That's
but
good.
I can't be impulsive if I'm put under stress.
When you feel rushed? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just like, do it. Here, just do this. Like, let's
Right.
just-
Even if it's not how I want it, just go ahead and get it done. That is stressful.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, stress can kill.
It
So
can.
I'm trying to figure out how to not be as stressed, because it's easy to just suck up what everybody else is throwing at you.
Yeah.
And like you said, as moms, not having that break, ooh, it's a lot.
And that goes into boundaries.
Boundaries.
Having strong boundaries.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that book. We're gonna get that book.
Yeah.
All right. What part of your zodiac sign do you most relate to?
I feel like it shifts. So I feel like on a day-to-day basis, I really relate to my Libra moon. I feel like that's like me to the T. When I see like Libra, like traits and stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, that's me. But when I'm angry, I'm full Scorpio. Yeah, there's nothing else going on.
There's nothing else?
No.
Now, I saw something about Scorpios, and it says, like, you guys are water. You're a water sign. And so you're the reflection of a lot of people. And I feel like just your light is very transparent. Not in a bad way. It's just that, you know, whatever or whoever you're talking to or connecting with, their light also shines through you. It's that mirror, you know, that mirror image.
Yeah.
So when you're angry or whatever, or you feel that Scorpio in you, you know, coming out, is very, do you feel like it's cut and dry? Like when you're engaging with somebody?
What do you mean by cut and dry?
Like, you know, are you the type of person to snap at somebody, or do you just call people out for their ignorance or their BS?
I feel like I'll call you out on your BS for sure.
Okay.
But it's gonna be very nasty.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's like, I feel like I truly align with my Libra. So I really want peace in all situations. I really want justice in all situations. I don't like conflict. I don't want to really have issues with people around me. But then when I'm presented with those issues and it's like we can't communicate through it, then I get like, okay, now I have to step into my ego, and now I have to fully like defend myself. And in order for me to do that, I have to tear you down.
You have to tear somebody else down.
You don't have to.
You don't have to, but it's just
But that's
innate.
how I protect myself. Because at this point, it's like I've tried all measures to try to like
Fix it or work
fix
it
things
out.
amicably. And now that we can't,
Girl.
okay, well, what are we doing? Because we don't have to, you know, do whatever needs to be done at this point. Like if we gotta
To handle it.
Yeah.
We gotta
what you
handle
trying to do?
Oh no! I got you.
Because it's like
I got you.
I'm trying to talk it out. And if you're not
Yes.
trying to talk it out, what's the next step? And prepare me for it, because now I have to step into a different space.
All right. Last but not least, how would you define beauty?
How do you define beauty? I think it is. I definitely think you can be beautiful without like the aesthetic. I think the aura, like I think you have a very beautiful aura. I know you talk about the insecurities that you have,
thank
but
you.
when I met you, you were always pouring light to people. When we did the self-care walk, you were like, you guys are so beautiful. Like, you've always did that
I
ever
truly
since I met
feel that
you.
way.
Yeah, so I definitely think aura plays a big part of it, because you can be beautiful, but if that
Right,
that
the
energy,
inside.
that energy bad, But again, when it comes to your aura and your energy, that should translate into your physical as well. You should be able to pour into yourself. You should be able to, you know, take time and make sure you look good. And if you're not, that has something to do with that aura. So yeah.
I was telling you, like, I'm working on that. And how you say your throat chakra is now open and you're ready to communicate and talk.
Yeah.
I know that some things, they're in balance and some things are not.
Right.
And so it's a constant battle of trying to figure it out and get our stuff together.
Yeah.
But thank you for seeing me in that way, because that's something that I work towards.
Yeah.
Is complimenting and just, you know, making sure people feel good. But I also have to know when to do that for me. Like, I could do it for people all day, but if I can't do that for myself and I can't pour into myself, then what does it matter? It's not genuine.
Yeah, can't pour from an empty cup.
Oh, and on that note, thank you. Thank you, Unique, for being on this show, this episode. I really appreciate it. This was like a heartfelt conversation, but I knew I would be safe. I hope you felt safe to do this.
It went so fast. Oh my
did.
goodness.
It came and it went, but we did it. We did it beautifully, gracefully, and with no holding back.
Right.
So with that said, Rosebuds, you already know, when life gives you thorns, search for roses. Peace, y'all.
Oh, yes! I feel like it was a great conversation.